You guys are probably like, what the heck? I'm on the same boat as you, okay? Just saying. How do I start? I'm so beyond excited to make this video for today. It's been quite some time, but bear with me here. I am so excited to announce that we are expecting baby number 2. So I'm going to do a little bit of a close-up of how I look. You can't really see much of what's going on over here, but we are halfway through, pretty much, a little bit more than halfway through. So if you guys don't know, I gave birth to my first child back in April 2023. I have to always think about that. And God willing, this baby is due in at the best month of the year. Is that how you say it? Yeah. October. It's ironic because the baby is due October 8th, which is my sister's birthday and Emma's birthday, which I just think is kind of crazy and kind of cool at the same time. With my son, Raphael, if you guys don't know his name, that's his name. I gave birth the day I was due. So I don't know what the story is going to be with this one, if it's going to be before or after. I know all of this is a lot of information to handle. I didn't even know how to come on here and make this video, but I was just like, hey, just sit down and start talking and like things will just come, you know? So I do have the cute sonogram here, which is the cutest ever. I just love going in for like the 20-week, like, what is it, anatomy scan. So I'm a little bit over 20 weeks, which would make me due around October time. We got little feet here as well, which is so cool. So I have to first tell you guys how this whole thing like kind of like happened. Mikey and I discussed that, well, when you have a kid, it's like so like such a joyous time, but also very, very overwhelming, especially if you don't have like a lot of help from like friends and family and stuff. So we did a lot on our own. We don't really have much people to actually help, like, you know, everyone's busy with their own life and stuff. So it actually took us a little bit of time to kind of get used to everything, to figure out the schedule of the baby, to learn to sleep on like 4 hours as opposed to like, I don't know, the amount of sleep I was getting before. And you know, it definitely took us months to adjust to having a little one, but we're both obsessed with our son. I don't really show him on here. Sometimes I wish to, but I kind of feel like the internet could be a little bit of a scary place, but just know he's the man. He's just a cute little guy. Everyone says he looks like, half of the people say he looks like me, half the people say he looks like Mikey. I think he looks like me. My mother keeps saying, exactly you. So, but I think she says that about all her grandkids. Like, she always says the grandkids always look like her kids. So I don't know if I should believe what she said, but I do see me in him. So anyways, that's Raphael. So we were thinking about, you know, potentially having another kid, but you know, with the home that we live in now, this is the same place I live in for the past like 8 years almost. It's when I lived here when I was single, got married, and we ended up staying here because the rent everywhere is just insanity. Like, you're not finding a place less than $3,500 for maybe a 3-bedroom that does not look like a closet, or that does look like a closet. So we weren't necessarily like trying, but we figured like, if, you know, if it happens, then it happens. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. We'll leave it up to, you know, the one above. So I want to say back in February, I went to TJ Maxx. It was kind of chilly outside, you know, it's like cold here in New York at that time. I wanted to get Mikey like a small like doll, of like, not doll, like a little thingy that says Happy Valentine's, whatever, like a plush toy, whatever, plush doll, basically. He didn't like it, and the one that I got, he was like, what the heck is this? But anyway, so I was like, you know what, let me get a pregnancy test, because I did kind of miss my period, and also I don't know why, like in my heart I had the feeling that maybe I was expecting. So, and I think at that point I was possibly like 3-ish weeks, something like that. So I came home, I took the test, and in my head I'm like, yeah, just not the type, but like, imagine it is, you know? So I did the full shebang and waited a few minutes, and then I just quickly went to the bathroom to check the pregnancy test, and it said it had a double line, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? Come again. I was in shock for the first like minute or two, because I was like, I just, really? You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't expect it, I guess, but I kind of knew, but then I was like, really? So the first thing I did was cry, because as happy as I was and excited as I was, and to know that this is such a huge blessing. If you guys know some of my story with my first pregnancy, I literally pretty much died. The sickness was unbearable, and it was probably the worst year of my life. Really, like really bad. If you know, what's the thing called? HG, I think it's what it's called. Basically, it's severe sickness, but it's not just morning sickness, it's the whole day sickness. You throw up insane amount of times throughout the day. This lasts for months on end, and it just seems like a never-ending journey. So till I found the medication that was able to help me, I was suffering endlessly. So the first thought I had was like, I don't know if I could do this again, because I don't know how much suffering a person can go through without feeling like I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? So I didn't like surprise Mikey with the information like I did with my first child. I just kind of went to him and I was crying. So he's like, are you pregnant? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's so cool. Like, I'm so excited. Like, you know, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm just like, I'm really, really scared, honestly, because I would love to have more kids, but I don't want to go through the hardship of it, you know. I told Mikey, I'm like, let's just take it day by day. Let's see where it goes. He's like, hey, listen, you might not even feel anything this time around. I'm like, okay, please. It's just like not the type. But the truth is, we really don't know. I just feel like if you do have like a pretty bad pregnancy, a lot of the times the following pregnancies will also be bad, but it's not 100%. So the truth is, really, we don't know. But in my head, I was like, it's just not my type to feel good. Like, I'm the type to just be sick. Anyway, around, I think, 6-ish weeks, going into 6-ish weeks, I started bleeding. And that was a huge scare for both of us because, you know, God forbid, we thought it was, you know, something we don't really want to think about. And I did end up going to the hospital. The doctor there didn't really know exactly like what was up. He said, I can't tell you information now. You'll just have to wait it out like 2 or 3 days to see, you know, if it is like, God forbid, a miscarriage, or sometimes, you know, when the whole thing is happening on the inside, basically like the egg and whatever. I don't know how the whole thing works exactly. I learned it in high school, but like I should brush up on it. It's pretty cool. Sometimes it can cause bleeding of the outer lining of the uterus. That's what I remember he said. We were kind of like scared, but like I don't know why, like in my heart I felt like God has my back with this, and even if I would have had a miscarriage, you know, it was meant to be, but I felt like in my heart that it's not that, it's just bleeding. 2-3 days passes, nothing happens, the bleeding kind of still continues, and then I called my OB/GYN office, right? And my midwife was the one who delivered my first child, which, God willing, she will deliver my second one, because I love her. She's literally godsend. I'm obsessed with her. Like, I feel like if I love you, I love you to the end, and if I don't, like, I just don't, you know. But she's in like my pure love category. She's such a cute, good person that's just so calm, you know. Like, I remember for the first baby, I was literally dying, and she's like so chilled. I'm like, but how, you know? It's like so interesting to me. She knows I'm obsessed with her. She actually asked me for my channel a few weeks ago. I was like, I'm not really uploading as much now, so she might be watching this, might be not, who knows. Anyways, so I remember I went to her, I told her that I went to the hospital, I'm still kind of bleeding. So then she also told me, she said, sometimes when, you know, the baby forms, it could cause bleeding from the uterus. So I was bleeding, I want to say, for like a good 2 to 3 weeks, but the fact that she gave me good news made me feel pretty calm. So I tried not to kind of like think about it, and I kept praying and hoped for the best. And then after some time, it went away, and they checked, everything was okay. So we're really hoping for a miracle child here, and hopefully everything is just perfect. It's just very like, things like this can get very, very like, you know, scary really fast. I'm just really excited to meet this little one. Mikey and I did find out the gender of the baby at our 20-week, I think it's called, anatomy scan. So my mother was right, I was right, and my mother-in-law was right, and everyone, which is maybe like another 15 people, were wrong. So I kind of knew what the baby was. Well, I was also surprised, because I'm like, is it the type? Is it not, you know? So yeah, I'm not gonna share the gender just yet. I think I'll save that for when, you know, God willing, the baby's born. But yeah, that's pretty much, I want to say, most of it. I would say this pregnancy was probably the easiest thing alive for me. I did end up going on Bongesta, which, if you guys don't know, it's a medication that helps with severe sickness, and that has helped me out beyond tremendously. So this pregnancy is literally nothing compared to what it was the first time around. I told Mikey, I'm like, if this is what pregnancy is for most people, then it's such a walk in the park. I think there was 2 days maybe, February 29th. I don't know why I remember that day, because it's the 29th and I remember the 29th of everything. So that day I remember I threw up like 4 times and I felt like, okay, this medication is not working for me. I'm literally like, I was laying on the floor and I had to take care of my son as well because I'm with him every single day. And my sister came in to help a little bit, so that was very helpful. And then there was a day in March also that I was just like, my mother came to help that day too. So, but other than those 2 days, like here and there I'll have like a little bit of nausea, but really not like 1%, like nothing crazy. What I've noticed with this pregnancy, I have like a lot of like, I don't know if it's called heartburn, but it's like acid on my throat. It feels like it's like sizzling or something. So people tell me to take Tums. I've never taken Tums really, I would say. It's not like the worst ever. It's manageable, but it's still kind of there. Like I feel like after I eat like an hour or two after, and I really don't eat like oily type of foods, I would say, just like I feel like some form of fire in my throat or something. I'm trying to move around more than I did with the first pregnancy. I did gain a decent amount of weight, but you know, it is what it is. It bothers me sometimes, but then at other times I think like I'm making an actual person, so everybody's body is going to be different. Some people bounce back right away. I did not. I was still kind of chunky after I gave birth, and now second time around I'm trying to move more than sorry, I feel burniness in my throat right now. I'm being more aware of it. I want to get maybe like a walking pad to kind of move a little bit more. But I also notice when I do walk more than like 30-40 minutes a day, like the bottom of my feet kill. Like I just feel like it's just exhausted. Like my feet are like wiped for the day. And in the past, like my mother used to tell me like her feet hurt when she walks a lot, and I'm like, but how does your feet hurt? You know, like it was interesting to me. And now I'm like, oh, I see where you're coming from. I want to say it's because I am heavier, so there's a lot more weight that my feet have to carry. That's why I kind of feel the pain. So yeah, I'm assuming it's that. But that is another thing that I've noticed with myself. And then lastly, teeth pain. I've been going through it. I've been going through the ringer with my teeth, with my gums. I already told Mikey that like at some point I'm like willing to take out all of my teeth and just get dentures because I'm so over the pain. I went to the dentist, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, was when it was really killing me, like just this whole like side. It's not even one tooth, it's just all. But especially the whole top part here. I went to the dentist and he's like, everything looks fine, you have no cavities, which I was like, really? Because I haven't been there in like 10 years. I was like, and no root canals, but he's like, if you want, I can kill the nerve. So I was contemplating on going in or not. Then my mother found this, it was so random, but she found this kind of like holistic doctor, and he told me to use hydrogen peroxide to kind of like gargle in my mouth with water, mix that a little bit with water, and it just kind of helped like your gums. And it worked. Like it literally worked. I also had to take garlic, slice it up, and I just like left it on the area on the gum part that was hurting me, and I stayed like that for literally hours on end. I switched out the garlic probably like 5 times, a few times in the past few days. I'm just kind of skimming over the teeth pain, but let me tell you, it's definitely killer. But I think I'd rather that over being nauseous if I had to choose one. Obviously I'd rather not have any. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I really just wanted to come on here and let you guys know the amazing news. I am definitely looking forward to reading your comments. I know sometimes you can kind of feel a little bit distant on here with me because it's been like on and off for the past bit. I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully uploading a little bit more. I'm not going to promise a million videos a week like I used to, but I'm really going to try my best. I am home with my son every single day. I don't trust anyone to watch him, so that's my choice, and it does put things aside for me. Like I don't have the opportunity to just come on here and film. He's sleeping now, so yay for that, but it's not always the case. So anyways, that's pretty much it, and I will see you guys in my next one.